Here we go. It's happening. So I just finished doing the show. The segments will start being released on YouTube shortly. Right when I get off air, I take a peek at Twitter, and Amy Klobuchar is officially dropping out. But not only is she dropping out, she's currently on her way to meet Biden for his rally tonight, and she's going to come out and endorse Biden the day before Super Tuesday. So just so everybody knows what's happening here, if it's not obvious up front, the Democratic Party is trying to do what the Republican Party failed to do. The Republican Party, there were so many candidates and so many in that establishment lane that they couldn't corral them all, sit down together and say, okay, who's going to be the one? Who's going to be the one to try to take on Trump and take down Trump? And what happened was they waited too long. They waited too long. There were too many candidates. They split that establishment vote, and Trump ended up getting the nomination. And I think one of the reasons why they weren't able to come together is because Ted Cruz was the number two behind Trump, and Ted Cruz also is not loved by the Republican establishment for a variety of reasons, but he's more palatable than Trump. But they wanted a Jeb Bush, they wanted a Marco Rubio, they wanted worst case scenario John Kasich, but they were underperforming. So there was no main opponent to Trump. The establishment vote was split and fractured, and then Trump ended up getting the nomination. It really appeared like that's exactly what was happening with Bernie Sanders in this election. And then the day before Super Tuesday, it looks like the Biden campaign was working really hard behind the scenes, and they got, I think, and we'll learn about this soon enough, but I think they got Mayor Pete to drop out. Mayor Pete, he's either going to endorse Bloomberg or Biden. I don't know who, and I don't know when, but I would guess soon, because I'm sure he cut a deal. I'm sure he was offered some kind of high position in a potential administration. Amy Klobuchar, I guarantee you, she was offered something pretty big, a high position in the administration, maybe even vice president. And so Biden and his people effectively got Amy to drop out. She's going to his rally. Tonight she'll endorse him. And this is a last-ditch effort to stop Bernie. Now, how will this unfold? Unlike with Mayor Pete had the second choice of his voters, it was kind of fractured, and some polls showed Bernie was their second favorite choice. Some polls showed Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren. None of them really had Biden at the top. But in the case of Amy Klobuchar, I haven't seen the polls on who her second favorite choice is, but my guess would be her voters, their second favorite choice is another very establishment candidate like Joe Biden. So this is an attempt to get that moderate establishment vote, corral it, to take down Bernie Sanders at the last minute. Is it possible it's going to work? I don't know, because there was a lot of early voting that already happened in California. It already happened in Texas. Bernie Sanders is up massively as a result of that. It looks like he's going to win California and Texas. There is an open question as to how this impacts the rest of the states. In a weird way, Amy dropping out will probably help Bernie in Minnesota, because he's number two. Like, he was tied with Amy, and Biden was off in Nowheresville, so is this enough to get him over the top in Minnesota? Doubt it. It'll probably go to Bernie. But in other states, will it potentially help Biden? Yes, because in other states, it could make him get over that 15% threshold so that he gets delegates in more states than he would have gotten previously. So with this move, I don't know. I think it does make it more likely that Bernie doesn't get an outright majority, but it doesn't necessarily make it so that he won't have a plurality. I still think it's overwhelmingly likely he'll get a plurality, and I don't know. And it's also happening at the last minute, so it might be too late on that front anyway, that it's happening so late that it really won't have the effect that they want it to have. But this is an attempt to take him down. Now, in the case of Warren, oh my God, Elizabeth Warren, remember, she's staying in the race, admittedly now, not to win any states, not to win any delegates, not to get a plurality or anything like that. No. She's only in the race to go to the convention in Milwaukee to try to get it at a brokered convention and take it from the person who has the most votes. honestly, it's so beyond delusional that I feel bad for her. Like, it is so sad and pathetic that I feel bad for her, because it's not going to happen. It's simply not going to happen. She's dreaming if she thinks that that's going to happen. So, you know, what would go a long way right now? I mean, it would be great if she dropped out and endorsed Bernie in a similar way that frickin' Amy Klobuchar is about to do with Biden and Mayor Pete may be doing with Biden. She let us down bad, man. She let us down really bad. And but we'll see. Maybe what they're doing here is too late to stop him, but this should really light a fire under you to get more involved. Make phone calls, you know, text, knock on doors, do whatever you can to try to get Bernie elected, because they're pulling out all the stops, guys. They really want to prevent him. And I promise you this, he's the only one who could beat Donald Trump. We just ran the experiment in 2016. Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump. She is an establishment centrist. That's exactly what Biden is. Voting for the Iraq War, voted for all the outsourcing deals. He's male Hillary Clinton in many respects. And also, unlike Hillary, Biden's kind of slowly but surely losing his mind. It brings me no pleasure to say that, but it's obvious when you look at the deterioration. So, guys, we have to make sure Bernie wins, because if it's Biden, Trump wins re-election. If it's a brokered convention, Trump probably wins re-election. So get out there, do everything you got to do. This should make you want to back Bernie even more, because they're trying everything to stop him. They're that desperate, they're that pathetic, they have no ideas to run on, and they are hell-bent on losing to Trump with the same kind of establishment centrism that lost in 2016. We can't let that happen. Everything is on the line. Do whatever you can tomorrow. We have to win.